Welcome to Vibin', the unseen frequencies, the podcast from Blind Vibe Studios. This is where real stories meet raw vibes, no filters, no apologies.
Here to explore what it means to move through life. Without sight but with vision, let's break down stereotypes, amplify resilience.
Flip the script on what people think they know. You ready? Let's vibe beyond sight.
Welcome back to Vibe in the Unseen Frequencies. It's Brad. This is my 10th episode, and I wanted this one to count. I wanted it to be impactful, because if you've been following along this far, you know I don't hold back. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on one of the most important shifts I've ever made. This is the moment I shifted from living in the fear of what if to the freedom of let them. It didn't happen overnight. It took pain, reflection, and a hell of a lot of unlearning. But once that shift happened, everything changed. Let's go back for a second. I was 36 years old when I lost my sight. It didn't come with a warning. It came with grief, confusion, and fear. The kind of fear that wakes you up at 2 a.m, chest tight, mind racing, trying to piece together what your life is supposed to look like now. How will I be able to work again? How will people treat me? How will I even move forward? Because in those first days, weeks, and months, sometimes even longer, you don't know. Losing your sight practically overnight is a shock to the system. You can't just flip a switch and carry on. And that what if voice? It isn't a quiet whisper. It's loud, obsessive, heavy. It follows you into every conversation, every silence, every choice. And honestly, it wasn't just in my head. People showed me they saw me differently. They slowed down their voices like I suddenly forgot English. They spoke louder, as if blindness had somehow affected my hearing, and often they didn't speak to me at all. They spoke to the person with me as if I wasn't standing right there. The only people who reached out to me were my parents and my best friend, along with having my incredible husband by my side. Beyond them, no one. Not one message saying, "Hey, are you okay?" Not one call to say, "I'm here." Instead, there were very few people messaging my husband asking how he was, and few about me, talking to him, while avoiding speaking to me directly. And then came the social unfollows. In the first couple of months after I announced that I was legally blind, over 100 people unfriended me on Facebook. And this wasn't random, it was personal. Because the majority of those people didn't remove my husband, they removed me. I'm not someone who adds random people, I actually know those people. That was like a punch in the stomach. At the time of my blindness, we had already been together for 14 years. We had built a life together, and friendships and connections with so many people over the years. And these weren't strangers. They were people who had written on my wall for birthdays, commented on vacation photos, reacted to posts about my pets, celebrated the good things when life looked positive. And then suddenly, they were gone. Like I no longer belonged or fit in their world. Do you know what that does to someone who's already wondering if they still belong? Let's just say it gets dark, really dark. Before I lost my sight, I was working in digital media marketing with graphic design at the core of it. I wasn't just making things look pretty. I was creating visuals and content that drove sales, that told stories, that gave businesses and individuals a polished, exciting identity. It was creative. It was strategic. It was mine. And suddenly, it was gone. That version of me, the one people praised and hired, didn't exist anymore. In those early months, I wasn't just grieving my sight. I was grieving my career. I was grieving the community I had built. I was grieving the version of myself that I thought made me valuable. Every day I'd ask myself, what's the point now? And that's a terrifying question to wake up to every morning. But somewhere between the silence, the people who disappeared, and the sadness, I had a moment. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember the feeling. I had just spent hours replaying the same thoughts. What if they think I'm useless? What if they think I can't keep up? What if they think I'm exaggerating this to get attention? And then it clicked. I realized they're going to think what they're going to think No matter how carefully I explain, no matter how many times I prove myself, no matter how much I try to soften my story or change myself so it's easier for people to take in, I can't micromanage someone else's comfort. I can't keep editing myself just to make other people feel better about my reality. So I shifted from what if to let them think I can't. Let them underestimate me. Let them scroll past. Let them unfollow. Let them whisper. Let them leave. Because I'm not living for their approval anymore. That shift didn't just save my spirit, it gave me purpose. It gave me a reason to get up in the morning because I wasn't wasting my energy on other people's thoughts or actions anymore. And part of that shift was forgiveness. I forgave the people who left. I forgave the ones who never checked in. I forgave the ones who whispered about me instead of speaking to me, not because they deserved it, but because I needed it. I couldn't keep carrying the anger. Holding on meant I would always stay angry, always circling back to the hurt. So I let it go. I forgave, I released, and I moved forward. Just as I shifted from what if to let them, I shifted from holding on to letting go. 20 months into my blindness, I launched Blind Vibe Studios, not to inspire people, not to perform, but to create again, to be heard, to reclaim my voice. Because when I first started searching online, what I found didn't sit right with me. So much of it was blind influencer driven, polished to the point of perfection, the kind of content that makes everything look easy. And in some cases it was easy, because there were partners or staff working behind the scenes to shape the image and keep the brand spotless. And listen, I get it. That's the job of an influencer, to create a persona, to keep things polished. But when you're brand new to blindness, scrambling just to figure out if your life is still worth living, seeing that perfect polish hits differently. I'd see influencers traveling the world, doing big experiences, living boldly. Meanwhile, I was struggling just to wake up in the morning, not knowing if blindness meant I'd be forced into poverty. Because the work I had built my life around was stripped from me overnight. It's this strange mix of envy, disbelief, and despair. Because you're sitting in the mess of your own reality, wondering why you can't pull it off like they do. Where was the honesty? Where was the raw, unedited truth about what this really feels like? Where were the complicated, messy, funny, frustrating parts of blindness? I didn't see it. So I became it. Blind Vibe Studios is mine. It's rooted in that shift, from chasing acceptance to fully owning my space. I don't chase followers. I don't sanitize my story. I don't edit out the parts that make people uncomfortable. I'm not asking for permission to exist. I'm not looking back at the people who left. I'm building for the ones who stay, for the ones who see me, and for the ones still learning how to see themselves. So if you're listening right now and you're stuck in what if you're afraid to be misunderstood, rejected, unfriended, left out, know this. It doesn't matter if your story is blindness or something entirely different. That shift from what if to let them, it's liberating. Because when you let them, you finally let yourself, let them misunderstand, let them leave, and then let yourself begin. This journey isn't easy. It's not neat or predictable, but it's yours. And when you stop holding your breath to keep others comfortable, that's when you finally start breathing for yourself. Thanks for listening. Until next time.